Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm your host, Mrs. M. And if you haven't, make sure you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and not miss out on anything you need to scale your business to six figures and beyond. Pow! So I'm going to talk about pivoting. Yes, is it time to pivot? In this video, I am going to talk about state contracts, and I want you to stay to the end because I've got something for you that I'm going to share with you where you can find yours. All right, so let's go. Now, we all know that federal contracts are changing right before our eyes, and on our Facebook group, every single day, I am trying to start something called Daily Feed, where I'm going to talk to you about the real deal, not the fluff, but the real deal, what's going on with federal contracts. So I'm here in Washington, D.C. area. I actually live in Northern Virginia, about 15 miles outside of DC. And every day we are having meetings with federal contractors, and they're talking about contracts and how it used to be and how it is now. So I'm going to give you not what we think, but what it really is to help you determine this journey that we're going on together and whether it makes sense. So make sure you tune in because I'm going to give you a lot of good information, and hopefully the outcome is going to be great. Well, we all know that a lot of people finally get how important a federal government contract is. It really is like the holy grail. Once you find one, it can change your life. It can change your business. You can literally become wealthy. And I've already said that if you look at the counties that are in this area, we have some of the top wealthiest counties in the United States. And a lot of that has to do with government contracts. Well, now with the shift, sort of like when I lived in Orlando, Florida, Disney World was like everything, and government is everything, and not just in the DC area, but it's been our biggest buyer for a long time. Government contracts have federal contracts have been big buyers. Well, now that the shift, it may be time for you to pivot. It may be time for you to pivot to your state. I know that I use county, cities. I'm just going to use my example, which Orange County, Florida. Because there's Orange County, California. So we're talking about Orange County, Florida. And one of the things about Orange County, Florida is that I actually did a lot of bidding there, and I did a lot of county bids. So I know they have county bids, city bids, state bids, federal bids. Then they have, education bids. So there are a lot of bids. They call it SLED, like state, local, education. That's where the SLED comes from. So there are a lot of bids out there. And I'm going to give you a couple of the pros for state bids where you might want to pivot since there's so much going on with federal. And if you're determined to still do government contracts, this might be a really good time and a great fit for you. So one of the things you may want to do is understand the pros. One of the pros, less competition. Sometimes states do pay faster. You can probably get a lot of points for being registered for that state, a lot of set-asides as far as being a resident of that state, not necessarily a minority or anything like set-asides, but just the fact that you get so much for being in that county or in that city or in that state. There are so many points you receive for how long your business has been around in that county or that state. So there's a lots of pros. There's ways to become wealthy. What I will teach you on called pooled, P-O-O-L-E-D, pooled contracts are a great one. I know we have students that have won millions of dollars, with state contracts. They've never won a federal contract, and they are doing just fine. Some of the cons. Well, we all know that one of the biggest cons is that state contracts can vary. You've got to learn how to do them. The format can be different. As a federal contract, there's the same format. The second thing is you have to be registered in that state. Whereas with federal contracts, if I live in Texas, I can do a contract in any state I want if it's a federal bid. Those are the two big barriers to a lot of people when it comes to doing state bids. But if you've always wanted to make money with government, why not look at switching now? Doing a pivot where you're still looking at making six figures, you're just going to look at doing it in areas that you have control over. Now, one of the things I love is we have our formula, our OBART, O-B-A-R-T. O is for offer, B is for buyer, A is for avenue, R is for relation, T is for teaming. We've always talked about teaching our students and having a community where we can work in each other's states. So if I want to work in your state, let's say you're in the state of Florida and I live in Texas, I can team up with you and we can do the darn thing without me having to live where that contract is. Why? Because my teammate is there. So teaming up is one of the ways that I was able to really scale my business and leap through time so quickly because I had someone that was just like me, same mindset, same everything. So if that sounds like something you would want, then guess what? You want to look at doing some state bids, and you want to look at doing bids on a county level and on a city level, on a state level, and there's so many of them out there. So we're going to start looking at pivoting and kind of still keeping our eye on federal because there's a lot of changes. They're looking at doing the GSA, General Service Administration. They just an executive order for them to do some ordering, so on and so forth. So I said if you stay to the end, which we're at the end, I was going to give you a couple of treats. So one of the things I'm going to talk about is if you join me tomorrow, I am going to start choosing a state and I'm going to start showing you where you would find your contracts in your state. So we're going to start maybe a couple of county bids. And this is the beautiful thing. Once you learn how to really find those state contracts, you can then go to, let's say if you live in Texas, you can start finding contracts in North Carolina. You can start finding contracts in South Carolina because you know what? You know how to do it. That's right. You know the system. The system. That's what's important. So once you know the system, you can do it whether you do it in Texas or Florida or wherever because you know how to do it. So I'm going to share with you tomorrow, right here, be here tomorrow. I'm going to share with you tomorrow how to find some Orange County, Florida contracts. And then you can take that same knowledge and start seeing if you can find it in your area. But I'm going to start looking for contracts in different places in the state of Texas. And like I said, we're going to start on a county level and then move through a city and then state. So stay tuned. I'm going to do a lot of upcoming training so we can make sure that we don't miss out on any opportunities to scale our business to my favorite, 6 figures and beyond. Pow! And this time we're going to focus on not forgetting about federal. But I always talk about there are several ways to scale your business to 6 figures and beyond. And government contracts is one of my favorite, one. But I'm going to start sharing with you other things you can do. That way you can find some of the best business to start, some of the best online business to start, some of a little bit of everything when it comes to scaling your business to 6 figures. And government contracting is still one of my favorite. We're just going to pivot a little bit and learn a little bit more about state as well. So make sure you are ready to go. And if you want to learn more, I'm going to have a free masterclass. That's right, free masterclass on pooled contracts. Pooled contracts, that's what it is. Pool the money together. A lot of different departments pull their money together and they may have a 10-year contract and they will put various vendors on there and you could be one of them. So if you want to learn, make sure you click the link, sign up for my free masterclass, and I'll look forward to seeing you there so you can learn all about pooled contracts upcoming soon. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.